Welcome everybody. Good to be able to talk about something which has been my passion these 30 years that I've been teaching English here in Spain. So let's get started. Motivation, she says, comes from three factors. The first is that we must show our students that pronunciation is important. Another really key issue in motivation is to show your students that the goal is actually to be intelligible with their English. It is not realistic to ask them to sound like native speakers, so insisting on intelligibility will improve motivation. Last of all, we need to openly demonstrate that we worry about our students' pronunciation, but we also need to be able to show them that they're making progress. There are different models available to us, and the first and most obvious are the recordings which you might have on a CD or you might have on the digital files which accompany your course books. So we're looking at Mosaic, which is for teenagers, and English File and Voyage, which are for young adults or adults, and they all come now with a CD or with audio files, and all of these files can work perfectly as models for our students' pronunciation work. Slightly less conventional, however, especially with teenagers, is the idea that out there are people who speak English in ways that our students would like to be able to imitate. So you might watch Nadal or Fernando Alonso or Penélope Cruz on a video speaking in English, which they regularly have to do, and students might choose one of these celebrities or superstars as their own particular model of English. So this is associate, which we can do with images, we can do with colors, we can do with names, but we can do it with all sorts of strange things. A few weeks ago I got back from pretty hard 5 or 6 days traveling, and the house was empty, and I went into the kitchen and basically opened the fridge door to find that there was absolutely nothing there. So I opened the fridge door, and of course the disappointment caused me to go "oh," and "oh" is one of the diphthongs of English that Spanish students find difficult. And from that moment I started using this rather stupid little story, and I'd tell my students the story, and then at the end of the story would make the sound "oh," and then get my students to imitate the sound, and this connection of the sound to the story allowed them to better remember the sound. So we can give marks if we go to the internet and use games. Games of any sort will have correct and incorrect answers, and when you've done like 10 same or different listening activities for discrimination, students working in pairs will have all 10 right, or they'll have 8 right, or they'll have 7 right. They're getting a mark and they're getting feedback. But if we actually collect in those marks and put them into a register, there's an ongoing program of marks for your pronunciation. The better you get, the higher your marks.